We have the rusty red rocket back at it again, doing what she does best, rusts. Oh, cheap Harbor Freight welder. So that means we're finally putting together the spare tire, the bumper and spare tire carrier that I've been putting off forever. But here's the old gym equipment. It's going to be pretty straightforward how it goes together. So I took off the stock one, pretty straightforward, nothing special there, and I got the actual brackets out as well. And here's this is just some steel that I welded onto this bumper hitch deal, 3 places. I've just got it tack welded on right now. That's hanging out there. So I'm gonna finish welding that, but then the idea would be something like this. This is gonna go on there, kind of like that. Then, on top of that, we're gonna have the swing out, which will hang out like that. And then, where I'm going to mount the spare tire will be hanging out somewhere like that. And then I'll also build, over here, I'll build something to hold a jerry can, and there'll be some sort of a latch deal there. The hinge is just gonna be a bolt. I might have to put a case around the bolt on the inside over here. I've already got the hole drilled. It's just gonna go through there and through here. I've got a really long bolt, and I think that should be strong enough when it swings out to hold it. If not, I'll put a case in between it, right up in there. I'll cut off these extra ends once I've got it welded on, but I'm gonna leave this front part. I'll probably just weld 2 studs sticking out and then put a keyed lug nut to hold the tire on. And the jerry can over there. Other than that, obviously I'm gonna paint it. This is just all old gym equipment from a home garage from someone. They were moving, they didn't want it, so this was like a leg press machine. I ended up taking it apart, and this is the parts that I saved. So this will make up the rear bumper, and of course I'll paint it all once I'm done, so it won't be these colors. But I'm gonna finish welding on these little brackets to hold my bumper, and then I'll check back in. So one more thing that I want to show you guys, this trailer hitch, this square tube that you're welding onto, it's not even if you look at it, or it's not level at all. Take a gander, the bubble is all the way up at the top. So what I had to do is shove some washers underneath when I was mounting it and tack welding it, so that it'll be relatively level. So, something to keep in mind, it's not going to be straightforward. You're going to have to go ahead and balance it out, stack stuff up, and then tack weld it into place so that you've got it level later on.
Yeah. Do you want me to go to the other side?
Southern California Honda person. And recently we've been doing random acts of helpfulness. San Diego.
This is kind of what it's gonna look like. I don't have the bolts in yet, but here's the general idea. And I'm gonna have two lugs sticking out of here to go ahead and mount my spare tire with. And I'll probably use a keyed lug nut on that, but this will all get painted, obviously. This will bolt on to here, a couple holes. I'm not gonna actually weld it, just gonna bolt it. This is gonna, I already checked it out earlier, it does work for now, and it seems strong enough. This bolt will run through here, and then that swings out pretty much just like this. And then the tailgate can go down, it has enough clearance. This seems sturdy enough for now. I will redo it if it ends up not being sturdy enough, but if this thing goes down, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of a gap in here between the bumper. So, a couple things. Let's see, I did weld. I welded these things on here. The welds are not that great. My welder was having some issues, and I'm not very good at welding anyways, but if the welds fall apart, or if I want to make this totally removable so I can put it on my other truck or any other 4Runner, I can just drill holes through this and through the plate, and then run a bolt and bolt it to the deal sticking out. And I can also do that back here as well. If the welds fall off back here, I can just drill a hole from the bottom with the drill bit up through the plate and then bolt that down like that, and do that on all three. So it might be trickier on this one, but on the middle one, but everything else I should be able to do that, and then it would totally be removable. I cut off these extra ends. I left the front ones because it kind of lines up here, and I'll probably use that to fit the old little bumper end caps. I'll use them to mount on somewhere onto here, however I want to line that up. But right now, that's pretty much it. What I'm doing now, I'm just gonna go ahead and figure out the spacing so that I can mount my spare tire to this, and then it'll pretty much be done for the initial go. I'm not gonna do the jerry can platform over here just yet, because I wouldn't be able to just leave it there. It would have to be done as a swing out as well, so the tailgate could still fold down. So I'm gonna probably leave that for a later date and make sure this thing holds up for a month or so before I do that. Little update as it stands right now. I drove it around. It seems sturdy enough for the time being. I don't have any sort of a locking device for this. It's just this plate and a couple deep nuts to hold it on. The actual swing out is held into place by, let's see, it's this deal. This is just a bolt, and I drilled a hole through it. That's a cotter pin, so I can pull that out and then pull the bolt out, and then this whole thing will swing out. What I ended up having to do over here, well, I didn't have to, but I welded on this extra little flap or piece of metal to give it a little bit more strength over here when the tailgate's completely swung out and open. The tire carrier doesn't have all the weight just sitting right on this bolt, and then these couple inches, it has a couple extra inches there to sit on and give it a bit more strength, and that actually did help a whole lot as far as bending this bolt goes. I think that's a 3/4 inch bolt, and a nylon lock washer on the bottom. And today what I'm going to do is, well, I'll show you, but I'm going to add a little bit more strength and rigidity to it. And then I'm also going to get working on welding together the jerry can mount, which I picked up today from Harbor Freight for $40. So this deal where the tire is actually attached to, it's just bolted to this top swing out bar. I didn't weld it. I grinded it all off and prepared to weld it, but Then I realized there was holes already drilled there that lined up, so I just bolted them in and put some nuts on the underside and tightened it down. So that's what I got going on for now. Alright, so we just gave it the Harbor Freight Special. Some pretty shitty welds, but overall this thing's got a lot more beef now. And it doesn't wiggle near as much. So I'm satisfied with that. I'm just going to add a little bit of support underneath, because right now if I push on this, it kind of wiggles a little bit. So these are the supports holding it to the frame right now, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple pieces like this and weld them in there just like that. And I'll check back in with you guys. The Harbor Freight Special is done. It's just that little bar hanging in there. So it's actually giving it a good amount of rigidity. It doesn't wobble at all anymore on the bottom piece. When I swing the top by the tire, it still wobbles a little bit. Not a whole lot of play. But a little bit better than it was before, and it only wobbles kind of from here, from this pivot point. I might box this in. I don't know if that's gonna help at all, but maybe try to sleeve this bolt. That might help, but for now I'll probably just leave it with that. And I've got the got to get the jerry can somehow mounted up on its own little swing gate for the next time.